Okay, let's unpack this. Today we're doing a deep dive into just an extraordinary set of sources.
Yeah.
It's the personal history, the beliefs, the whole operational philosophy of a man named Stan. He's a
Right.
professional chauffeur I met down in South Carolina recently.
Yeah.
And it's not just about his job, you know? It feels more like a manual on high-stakes human management.
Exactly. We're essentially mapping out Stan's entire operating system. It's built from a life that stretches from the Bronx projects all the way to the driver's seat of these luxury Sprinter vans.
Right.
And his sources, his stories, his professional rules, these incredibly specific ethical lines he draws, they give us this rare look into the intense responsibility of being an operator, navigating, information intoxication, just chaos.
So our mission here is to kind of understand that hard-won wisdom, how he handles it all.
Precisely.
And we really have to start with his name,
Right.
because Stan uses it, well, brilliantly, actually, as a personal brand.
Oh, yeah.
His full name is Stanford. And he explains it means literally a hard rock or stone. And he tells women he meets, if you can get inside that hard rock,
Yeah.
you'll find something beautiful, like a gemstone.
Huh. That's smooth. Very smooth.
That confidence, that self-definition, it really sets the stage for everything.
That gemstone line is great, but yeah, the foundation is that hard rock.
Right.
From the Bronx. Born there, grew up in Claremont Village projects.
Okay.
And then eventually moved south, 97 I think it was, landed in Charlotte, North Carolina. By 99 he was behind the wheel, and that's where his chauffeur career really took off.
So let's start there, with the professional side. Because listening to Stan talk about chauffeuring, it's just so much more than driving.
Oh, absolutely.
His core philosophy is, like, crystal clear. The job is not about the driver at all.
Right. It's all guest experience.
Completely. Safe transit, top-notch customer service, making sure they have a good night. That's the focus.
And that focus demands this unique skill he actually calls ear hustling.
Ear hustling, I love that.
It's this active, high-level listening. He's tuning into the conversations behind the partition.
Not to eavesdrop, though, right?
No, not for gossip. It's to anticipate needs, logistical things, personal things, before they even become awkward requests.
Wow, the mental load, there must be something else. He gave us these great examples, really specific, about protecting guests' dignity. Like, if he overhears they're running low on drinks, he doesn't wait for them to ask. He just announces he needs a Mountain Dew.
Ah, right.
And pulls into a convenience store, solves their problem, but makes it seem like it was his idea, his need.
Genius. And it's the same for physical needs, too, like bathroom breaks.
Yeah.
If he senses someone needs a stop, he just pulls over and says, "Everyone, I have to use the restroom." Takes all the embarrassment away for the passenger who might feel weird asking. Keeps the night flowing.
It's beyond just service, though. There's this huge element of safety, especially when he's driving, say, groups of women.
Yes, he takes that very seriously.
He actually says he views female passengers as his sisters and daughters. That protective role. It's deep.
It is. He's not just watching the road. He's watching them get safely into the venue, making sure they're okay when they leave. It's an ethical thing, way beyond the job description.
And you need that level of responsibility, especially with the vehicles he drives now.
Yeah, let's talk about the vehicles, because Stan's experience really shows how that whole luxury transport industry has changed. We've seen this, sharp decline in the classic stretch limo market.
Okay. Yeah, this part is really interesting. Stan says the Mercedes Sprinter van, that's basically replaced the stretch.
It really has.
And the reason? Passengers prefer the height. They like being able to stand up, move around. And the capacity, too.
Big difference. You can get, 13 people comfortably in a Sprinter, sitting up high, versus maybe 8 or 10 crammed low down in a stretch limo.
It's a totally different kind of luxury feel now.
And managing those big, heavy Sprinters, it requires constant vigilance. Stan really hammers this point. Those vehicles don't stop on a dime.
No kidding.
He talks about constantly sweeping his mirrors, always driving with 2 hands. Keeping distance isn't just good practice. It's absolutely essential when you've got a dozen lives in your hands in a vehicle that heavy.
That external watchfulness is key. But Stan's stories suggest the real challenges often come from inside the car, right? Especially as the night wears on.
Oh, yeah. That's where his professionalism gets tested the most.
So what's the biggest issue?
First off, the most common thing, and the one Stan just absolutely hates, is people getting so drunk they vomit in the car.
Ugh, of course.
He says, very pointedly, you can't rationale with them once they reach that stage. He knows right then the night's going downhill. It leads to problems, danger, and definitely a mess he has to deal with.
And what about, like actual illegal stuff.
Yeah, he gets asked, especially by out-of-towners, where can they get cocaine, things like that, often. But his line is absolute. I don't know anything. Zero tolerance. He knows the risk could be undercover cops, could lose his job, disappoint his boss. He gets paid to drive, not to facilitate illegal activity.
Makes sense. We have to see a lot of other things, too. Intimacy.
Oh, constantly. It happens a lot in the back of those cars.
He told the story about that, didn't he?
Yeah, one time in an older limo, he lowered the partition and, oops, found a couple right in the middle of things.
Awkward.
Very. More recently, dealing with newlyweds in a Sprinter van that was noticeably rocking.
Oh.
In that case, he handled it professionally, gave them like 10, 15 minutes of privacy, then a polite, soft knock on the partition. Time's up, folks. Gotta get you home.
Drawing a line, even there. But the highest risk situations, the ones where his safety and his morals really collide, that's when intoxicated female passengers hit on him, right?
Yes, he calls that a trap. A dangerous one. And he absolutely refuses to engage. Full stop.
And why?
Out of respect. For his own daughters, his sisters, he shared a couple of really intense stories about this.
I remember one.
The woman in Charlotte. Aggressive. Physically grabbed his arm, used her fingers. He said his body actually reacted, involuntarily. He felt so compromised he literally had to run away and call his mother in the middle of the night.
Just ran, wow.
And then there was another one. A woman stripped down to just her panties, wanted to give him a tour of her apartment after the ride.
Oh, no.
Stan saw the danger immediately. He had to think fast, lied, said he needed to go back to the limo to get condoms.
Said that?
Yep. Just to create a few seconds of space, enough time to jump back in the driver's seat, peel out, and just get away. It takes incredible discipline, constantly.
That discipline faced its ultimate test, though, didn't it? The attempted robbery?
Yeah, that story is intense. An unbooked passenger gets in, asks if chauffeurs carry guns.
Red flag right there.
Huge red flag. Then the guy says, "Man, because this is a robbery."
Chilling. What did Stan do?
His reaction wasn't fear or compliance. It was instant, controlled aggression. He floored it. Hit 90 miles per hour. Started driving erratically, swerving, taking corners hard, skidding. Deliberately trying to throw the attacker off balance inside the car.
Using the car as a weapon.
Exactly. He told the guy, "We're both dying tonight." Created total panic. The attacker eventually just gave up his weapon and Stan forced him out of the moving vehicle.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
The mental fortitude to do that, it says a lot about where he comes from.
Absolutely. And to understand that, you have to go back to the Bronx. His journey started when he literally just walked off a street corner in '97, bought a Greyhound ticket, and went to Charlotte to see his daughter.
But it wasn't smooth sailing right away down south, was it? That story about his ex-mother-in-law.
Right. He moved in with her temporarily. She was successful, an IBM executive, offered him a room, but then things got weird.
Oh, so?
She told him flat out he was expected to give her something more than just rent.
Uh-oh. What did that mean?
Stan asked. She just said, "You're a man. Figure it out." Stan read between the lines. Saw it as this unacceptable bonus plan, a price he wasn't willing to pay. He moved out the very next morning. Chose independence over a comfortable but compromised situation.
That fierce independence.
Right.
It tracks back to the Bronx, doesn't it?
Definitely. He grew up on 169th Street, Claremont Village projects. But he also talks about positive influences, community figures like Mr. Curtis Johnson.
What did he do?
Organize things, evening basketball leagues, local hip-hop shows back in the day, even gave out free turkeys and cheese sometimes, creating structure, where it was needed.
And Stan's stories from back then, they open this window into old New York City programs.
Oh, yeah.
Skate Mobile.
Yeah.
Fantastic, right? A truck shows up, you trade in your sneakers for roller skates, and they block off the street for you to skate.
Amazing.
And even crazier, the pool mobiles or swimmobiles.
Yeah, trucks with pools.
Literally.
Yeah.
Big trucks with actual swimming pools attached. They bring them into underserved neighborhoods back in the 60s and 70s because access to regular pools was often limited or segregated. That's incredible. A mobile pool.
A real testament to community resources back then, though apparently they faded out by the 80s due to new filtration rules and budget cuts.
Stan's youth wasn't all positive programs, though. He talks openly about drug use.
Yes, he does. Started using cocaine young, maybe 15 or 16. Continued until he was 33.
And what made him stop? It wasn't the law or health scares.
No. It was a moment, a really personal, profound moment tied to his second wife.
Okay.
They were arguing, and she mocked him about the drug's physical effect on him, made him feel, in his words, profoundly stupid, stripped him of his dignity.
Wow.
And right then, Stan just decided, ain't no woman on the planet gonna ever make me feel like this. That humiliation, that feeling, that was the catalyst. He quit completely and permanently.
So it's this pattern again. Chaos leads to him setting an absolute unbreakable personal rule.
Exactly. It's foundational for him.
But that pattern seems to clash dramatically with the chaos he sometimes allows, or maybe attracts, in his personal life. Especially relationships. Which brings us to that shocking recent incident.
Yeah, this one is rough. His current girlfriend, who's only 25, they had an argument. She threw a pot of boiling fettuccine noodles at him.
Oh my God, boiling pasta?
Boiling pasta. He ran out of the house screaming, "You really burnt me." He actually drove himself, probably in shock, to the big burn center in Augusta, Georgia.
How bad was it?
His left ear was partially melted in the back. Serious burns.
That's horrific. And the legal side?
This is where Stan's code kicks in again in a really surprising way. The police wanted to press felony charges, obviously, but Stan refused to cooperate.
Why on earth not?
Because, he said, she was intoxicated when it happened. And crucially, she has 2 young sons. Stan's code wouldn't let him be the reason another 2 young black kids might grow up without their mother because she was incarcerated.
That is quite a calculation to make after being burned like that.
Yeah.
It echoes another violent encounter he had, right? The scam artist.
Yes, Mickey Moore, the guy who scammed him out of $10,000 for a faulty HVAC unit.
Stan tracked him down.
He did. It led to a fight. Stan ended up disarming Moore and stabbing him 8 times with Moore's own knife.
8 times. Again, extreme violence, but in self-defense this time.
That's how Stan frames it. And characteristically, he immediately thinks about the legal angle afterward.
What was the lesson there?
His takeaway was starkly pragmatic. In a civilized society, there's no such thing as a free kill. You face consequences.
But he also learned some specifics.
Yeah, he mentioned knowing even in that moment, apparently the grim distinction. Stabbing below the waist is misdemeanor. Above the waist is felony.
Gee.
He said he narrowly missed the femoral artery. It's his constant pattern. Violence happens, and Stan immediately calculates the rules, the limits, the potential cost.
Moving from physical conflict to maybe emotional conflict. He talked about his relationships, his failed marriages. He has a theory about that, doesn't he?
He does. He believes his struggles, particularly with African-American women, stem from them often being raised without a consistent father figure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how does that play out in his view?
He suggests this makes them resist a strong, leading male partner. They might equate male guidance with, like, control, so they push back against men who try to provide structure.
That's certainly a perspective. Is that his analysis, or is it something more widely discussed?
It seems to be Stan's personal interpretation based on his experiences. You could ask, is he projecting his own relationship difficulties onto a broader cultural pattern? It's a complex thought, especially given the contrast. His professional life is all about control, but his personal life seems marked by a lack of it.
That's the core paradox, isn't it? But the real relationship wisdom he holds on to now, the principle he aims for, it didn't come from therapy. It came from passengers.
Right. An elderly couple he was driving. He was complaining about his marriages, saying he always did his 50%.
And they corrected him?
Immediately. They gave him this insight that just cuts through the usual 50-50 idea. They said marriage isn't 50-50.
Or what is it then?
It requires 100% effort from both partners. A 100-100 commitment. Full stop.
100-100. That's a huge shift in thinking.
Massive. And the husband gave him a simple piece of practical advice to go with it. Say yes, dear, twice as much as you say no, dear.
Oh. Simple, maybe effective. But that 100-100 idea, if you took that principle and applied it beyond marriage, to your work or fitness or anything, how would things change?
It's powerful, and it stands in such stark contrast to the chaos he's lived through. Yet even after boiling pasta attacks, robberies, street fights, his advice for young men today is all about stability, structure.
What does he tell them?
It's direct. Leave the street life alone. It's a lie. It only leads to jail or worse. Stay in school, get educated.
And he added something specific, didn't he? About being smart.
Yes. He said, crucially, it's okay to be a nerd. He even used Bill Gates as an example, saying the people who laughed at the nerds back then are the ones trying to download their resumes now.
So Stan's life, it's this incredible study in contrast, right?
Yeah.
The absolute professional control, safe driving, anticipating every need.
Set against the backdrop of intense personal chaos, aggressive relatives, unpredictable partners, violence. But through it all, he holds on to that ethical anchor. prioritizing safety, community.
And despite everything, he's still optimistic about finding the right partner. He's still looking for his ultimate queen.
Yeah, he genuinely believes she's out there looking for me, waiting for someone who also gets that 100-100 principle.
Stan.
Yeah.
The hard rock from the Bronx. Maybe the biggest lesson is that the toughest discipline isn't just for the job. It's applying that same structure to your own life when the shift ends.
Well said.
So what does this all mean for you? Listening, Stan was told marriage needs 100% from both sides, not 50-50. We've seen how that idea sits alongside his often chaotic reality. But think about it. If you apply that intense 100-100 principle, not just romantically, but maybe to your job, your health goals, any area where you feel you're maybe just giving 50%, what kind of radical change could you spark tomorrow? That's the thought Stan leaves us chewing on.